Alright, we're done here. Thanks for watching, guys. No, I'm just kidding. Hello, everybody. Yes, it's me, Rui. This is what I look like, for those that don't know. Yeah, welcome to the 50k subscriber Q&A. Once again, guys, thank you so much for 50k subs. That means the world to me. I never thought I'd achieve a number like that. So, I thought I'd surprise you guys by not only doing the Q&A, but also the face reveal. Now, I should point out, this technically isn't the first time I've shown my face on social media. If you guys follow me on Twitter or Instagram, you've probably seen what I look like then, like when I'm showing some pictures and some videos. But of course, not everyone follows me on there, so for all of you guys who are just strictly the YouTube audience, yeah, this is what I look like. Nothing special really, but Anyway, so I've got the Q&A video pulled up here, or the 50k video, and I'm gonna go ahead and read through the comments that we have on the video here. And I'm gonna go through as much as I can. I'm gonna read through them all. If I don't answer them in the video, guys, I'm sorry. There's a lot of comments here. Like there's like well over 100. So I'm gonna go ahead and answer the best ones and sort of go through the ones that I feel like have got like some cool stories behind them and everything. But with all that said, guys, sit back, relax, and yeah, let's get into this Q&A. Okay, first question that we have here. From Takamatsu Blue Surge. Apologies if I said that wrong. If I butcher a few usernames here, guys, I'm sorry. I'm not the best when it comes to usernames. But anyways, they say, congratulations, Rui. I commend you for your achievement of 50k subscribers. Thank you very much. But for my question, what was it like to create Sonic and the Autobots from your perspective? So from my perspective, I'll be honest with you guys. My perspective on making Sonic and the Autobots, it's a very kind of, it's a fun perspective, but it's also like a very tiring perspective because these episodes are often about 20 minutes in length at least, so as fun as it is, and as most of you, like Sonic and the Autobots, like, Sonic Transformers crossover is something I've wanted to see for a really long time, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen officially now, unfortunately, since IDW lost the rights to the Transformers comics. But from my perspective, the fact that I'm able to sort of create a crossover here that lots of people can enjoy and sort of do something because Sega and Hasbro aren't going to do it themselves, I feel like it's just a good way to kind of, sort of just bring something that hasn't been seen before. Like, we've seen Mario and Sonic, we've seen, Sonic and Mega Man, I think in the Archie comics, but Sonic and Transformers, that's something that I don't think you've really seen. So I think from my perspective, I get to bring something unique to the table, to the Sonic to the Sonic community, and yeah, I'm really glad lots of people enjoy the show for that. From DMoney21. Congrats, Rui. My question is, out of the plethora of Sonic characters, who is your favorite and least favorite? My favorite Sonic character is definitely Sonic. He has always been my favorite. I know he's like the mascot and everything, but I love what he stands for. He stands for everything that's right. He's all about living freely, living life to the fullest. And I think that's just an overall, that's a good kind of, he's got a good like role model kind of thing. Like I feel like everyone should, you don't let, the dark times, like don't dwell on the dark times. To quote Sonic in the Black Knight, every world has its end. I know that's kind of sad, but that's why we got to live life to the fullest in the time we have. And I always really love that quote and other quotes like that from Sonic because it just kind of shows that no matter what happens in life, he doesn't stop living his life to the fullest. He lives a life with no regrets, and I think he's just a good role model. As for my least favorite Sonic character, I don't really have one specific, but I'm gonna say all of the Deadly Six. If you guys have followed me for a little while, you'll know how much I hate Sonic, Lost World, and the Deadly Six. I can't friggin' stand those characters. Like, if I were able just to wipe them from existence, I would. Like, I mean, if you guys like Sonic, Lost World, and the Deadly Six, like, more power to you. That's fine. That's just my opinions. But yeah, like, yeah. So yeah, again, like, so my favorite Sonic character, Sonic. Least favorite Sonic character is the Deadly Six. So there's your answer. The next question comes from one of my voice actors, actually, from Emcee Voices, who voices Knuckles, Dr. Eggman, and Ratchet for me. And make sure you guys go show him some love. He's a really talented guy. But anyways, MC says, congratulations on reaching 50k, Rui. You of all people more than deserve it. It's been an honor voicing in your outstanding animations. Thank you, MC, mate. It's always a blast working with you, mate. I appreciate the kind words. Thank you. Here's my question. How will Transformers 1 affect Sonic and the Autobots and your animations in general? Good question, actually. So, basically, it won't affect it much per se. Like, I'll definitely, because when I create Sonic and the Autobots, I draw inspiration from lots of different Transformers outlets. So, of course, G1's like the foundation, but I do draw elements from TF Prime, TF Animated, the War for Cybertron games, etc., etc. And basically from TF1, I'll do the same thing. I'll draw some elements from that because that was an amazing movie. I'm definitely going to draw some inspiration from that. One thing I will say, I'm definitely going to change up my Optimus Prime voice a little bit for the upcoming episode 6 because I know, like guys, I know I'm not the best Optimus voice, but look, I try my best. And previously I sort of tried to do something that mimics, or something that replicates Peter Cullen's voice, and that is just really, really hard for me to do. I just can't really, I cannot do it justice, because he is, when you hear Peter Cullen voice Optimus, that's the voice of a god. That is the literal voice of a god. So basically, what I'm going to be doing for episode 6, I'm going to be doing more of a take similar to Chris Hemsworth and what he did in Transformers 1, because I mean, like, that's definitely a bit more, like, sure, it's not, like, his performance was no Peter Cullen, but I actually really enjoyed Chris Hemsworth's performance in Transformers 1, and I think, and I've tried doing that myself, and that's actually much easier for me to do as, like, an Optimus voice. So going in episode 6, I'm going to try and do a bit more of a, kind of a Transformers 1 version of Optimus rather than, like, the G1 version. So, yeah, I suppose that's, sort of a way Transformers 1 is going to affect Sonic and what it was, I suppose. From Emerald the Gallad 7645, congrats on the milestone. Question, what video are you most proud of making? Ooh, that is not easy. It's normally the most recent one I put up because I constantly try to work on my craft and improve my animation skills over time. It's normally like the most recent one that sort of comes out, so I'd say as of now, it's probably Sonic and the Autobots episode 5. But that very well could change once episode 6 gets released. We'll just have to wait and see. From Bumblebee0400, congrats on 50k subscribers, Rui. My question is, what was your favorite thing about making your Sonic and Transformers crossover series so far? Let me think. I think probably my favorite thing, it's probably not necessarily revolving around making it, but it's probably more so how I'm sort of able to sort of bring these two fan bases together, because I've come to realize that there's actually quite a few people out there that are fans of both Sonic and Transformers, so a lot of people I think have really sort of become, were sort of attracted to the series for that. But I've also had some people type in the comment section say things like, oh, like I knew a lot about Sonic, but I knew like nothing about Transformers, but thanks to your show, I'm going back and I'm gonna try and look into Transformers more. Or vice versa, like, you know, Transformers fans that didn't know much about Sonic. So I think the way that I'm kind of able to bring these two fan bases together and maybe sort of bring some new people to a respective franchise, I think that's a really cool thing. I think the fact that I'm kind of uniting a fan base with this, well, in some way. So, like, yeah, I think that's probably my favorite thing about making the series so far. It's kind of getting to bring the Sonic fans and the Transformers fans together. From Mario Sonic Pro, congrats on 50k. My question is, what was the reason to switch from SFM to Blender? No hate, by the way. P.S. Let's pop some champagne bottles for 50k. Actually, I already did do that. Actually, the day after I did reach 50k, some of my mates got me a champagne bottle, and I went at the backyard and sprayed it like a Formula 1 driver. But anyway, to answer the question, so why did I switch from SFM to Blender? Mostly just because Blender is got so much more to do with, and the quality in Blender is just so much better. Like, don't get me wrong, SFM is still a really good free program. I think it's probably one of the best free animation softwares out there. If you guys want to, if any of you guys want to get into animation, I think SFM's a good place to start. But the problem with SFM is that it doesn't get updated, and it's fairly glitchy. Like, there were times in there where I'd do something and then suddenly out of nowhere it would just kind of like, well, it's hard to describe, but like maybe like some movements would just kind of get a bit snappy kind of thing. Like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe. But yeah, SFM, it is kind of known for its bugs and its glitches. The good thing with SFM is that it's got like all like the workshops constantly getting updated with like lots of, you know, users who are like making new stuff and everything and putting it up there for people to use. But yeah, the main reason I swapped to Blender was because the overall quality is much higher. It's much higher, and there's just so much more you can do in Blender. Like, I'm not going to be like abandoning SFM completely, but basically from like, you know, well, for a while now, basically my stuff's kind of become 90% Blender, 10% SFM kind of thing. Like, and that's just probably what it's going to be like for the distant future. From Michael the Wolf, congrats on hitting 50k subscribers, Pilot Man. You definitely deserve it. Here's to another 50,000. Hopefully, we can get another 50,000. I don't know how long that's going to take, but if we could get a silver play button, that would be a dream. Here's my question. Are there any games that you've seen other people play and wanted to try out for yourself? Yes, there are a lot of different games and game series that I've wanted to try out for many, many years, but of course that's kind of hard given how expensive games are these days. If I had to list 4 at the top of my head that I've wanted to try, I'd say the Halo series, the Gran Turismo series, in particular Gran Turismo 7, Skyrim, And technically this last one I have played already, but I only played like a few hours of it, and that's DCS World. But I would really like to get properly into DCS World because like at the time when I first tried to get into it, I didn't have like the proper equipment. Like I didn't have a VR headset, or like and the HOTAS I had was pretty small. But I would really love to get into it again because I love aviation a whole lot, and I would really like to get properly into it, like sort of experience it to its maximum. But yeah, so there's those 4 games or game series that I'd like to try out. There are many more, but if I were to list them all, I'd be here all day. So we'll move on. From Z Emperor to Rui, do you have any favorite franchises besides Transformers and Sonic? Also, congrats on 50k. Yeah, there are a lot of other franchises I love aside from Sonic and Transformers. If I had to name a few, let's see. There's the Top Gun movies. I absolutely love those movies. They are like the best movies ever, in my opinion. There's the How to Train Your Dragon series. I love those movies a whole lot as well. There's TMNT. I love the Ninja Turtles quite a lot as well. The Ace Combat games, that's more of a recent favorite, but I love that a whole lot as well. That kind of falls under the Top Gun category, but I just thought I'd mention that anyway. And I'm also really into Star Wars. But now when I say Star Wars, I mean specifically George Lucas Star Wars. I'm not really into anything that Disney's been doing with it, with the exception of, say, like the Bad Batch, and like, you know, the final season of the Clone Wars. I honestly can't stand anything that Disney's been doing with Star Wars. I hate it. It's just a fall from grace, really. Like, I used to love that franchise a whole lot, and now basically I could care less because Disney's just unfortunately tainted that for me. But I've still got the originals, the prequels, you know, the Clone Wars, and like I've still got those gems that I can go back and rewatch. So I'm still loyal to those, to the good parts of Star Wars, but anything that's like Disney Star Wars related, yeah, just keep that away from me, please. From Night Fury Lover 31. Woohoo! Congrats, man. I knew you could do it. For the most part, I just want to say I'm happy for you. You've done such amazing work, and it has been a blast to see it. Thank you very much, Night Fury. What are some of your favorite moments from the How to Train Your Dragon movies? What scene has stuck with you or touched your life? Oh my god, that is hard. Like, How to Train Your Dragon is, like, one of my favorite franchises out there. There are so many iconic moments in those movies that I love. If I had to narrow it down to one, I'd probably go with maybe the opening scene with Hiccup and Toothless in the second movie. If you guys saw Knights of the Sky Playful Pets, I did kind of recreate that scene with Lachlan and Turquoise. I'd say that one just because I really love the sense of freedom that gives, and just sort of, you sort of really get to see the connection that Toothless and Hiccup have, and I think that's just, that scene I just love watching. But of course, there are so many other fantastic scenes in those movies, like, of course, the infamous hand moments, like the whole kind of... There's that, but yeah, I just love How to Train Your Dragon as a whole. I can't say enough nice things. It probably is my favorite animated movie series of all time. From Naveen Taylor 6197. Congrats on 50k subs. Here are my questions. Okay, we've got 3 questions here. 1. Who are your top most underused Sonic characters that you think deserve more spotlight? Game, shows, comics. I think one character that I think it gets underused a lot, in my opinion, is Silver. Silver is one of my favorites, and I really kind of love his whole kind of personality and his, like, sort of who he is as a character. But he doesn't really get much chance. I know he gets a bit more spotlight in, like, you know, the comics in particular, but in the games, he doesn't really get all that much. Like, because the unfortunate thing for Silver is that whenever he sort of gets, like, a major role in a game, the game turns out to be kind of bad. Like, you know, he debuted in 06, which says it all, really. And I mean, the other game that I can think of that he had a big role in was Forces, and other than that, he's just kind of been like a side character or like something like that. Like, he was just the boss in Generations. You know, he's been in like Team Sonic Racing and the Mario and Sonic at the Olympics games, but those aren't really like mainline games kind of thing. So yeah, I think Silver really deserves a chance in the spotlight. Like, sort of, you know, if he gets a solo game at some point, I would 100% play it. See, question 2 here. If there was any Sonic souvenir / item you wish to own, what would it be? Ooh, okay, that's a good one. Like, I've already got some, like, souvenirs and merchandise from Sonic. Like, I've got a big Sonic plush, for one thing. That was a present from my mom. I've got, like, a statue of, Sonic. I think it's a Sonic Generation statue, because it says 20th anniversary on the little, pedestal thing. And, yeah, I've got, like, a bunch of t-shirts and all, but I don't know. Like, I'm not, like, a massive collector, per se. But of course I have some merchandise. I mean, I guess, would the Sonic Lego sets count as like a souvenir? Because I actually haven't gotten any of those yet. I've been wanting to get some, but the prices of Lego has just gone up like ridiculously these past few years. But I suppose if the Lego Sonic sets count, I'd say I'd go with one of those. And final question here from Naveen Taylor. Let's see, which worst Sonic game or comic do you think had the most potential to be good? Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna say 2 games here. So if we're saying games that I think had the potential to be good, so games that were bad but had the potential to be good. So the first one I'm gonna say is Sonic 06. Like, I know lots of people really hate that game, but here's the thing, guys. I feel like 06, it could have been really good if they had given the development team like another year or so to like sort of iron out all the bugs and everything. I don't think the game would be as broken as it is. Because on top of all that, you know, up until Sonic X Shadow Generations, that had my favorite Shadow story. That was the best characterization I've seen of Shadow, like pretty much ever, up until Sonic X Shadow Generations. And of course, that's the game where Silver came in. He's one of my favorites, and I just kind of said before how much I think Silver is underutilized and how much I wish he had more of the spotlight, so it's just kind of a shame he had to come in on such a low point. I will admit, Sonic's story in there is pretty terrible. I don't like Princess Elise at all, really, to be honest. But yeah, like, I mean, it's like, again, I don't think Sonic 06 would have been the greatest game ever if they had have, like, you know, had more time, but I still feel like it wouldn't have been severely slammed. If they were given, like, one more year, I reckon the game would have been pretty decent. And the other game that I think had a lot of potential was Sonic Forces. Mostly because, like, I think the difference, though, is, like, whereas Sonic 06 was rushed, Forces, I think, the development team just didn't really know what to do with it. Like, apparently from what I've heard, a friend told me that, apparently the people that were working on Sonic Forces, a lot of them hadn't even consumed anything Sonic-related, which, I don't know about you guys, but that's not really a good thing when you're making a game about Sonic if you don't know anything about Sonic. So I don't think that really helped. They just didn't really know what they were doing. And of course, coming off of Sonic Lost World, which is pretty disastrous. Like, I mean, that's my least favorite Sonic game, and I don't think that can be claimed. But yeah, like, I mean, so I feel, and Forces had some cool things going for it. Like, you know, you had the Avatar creator in there. Like, and I think that was like the one thing that most people liked. They had some cool concepts and everything, but yeah, I think they just didn't really know what they were doing really with it. So I feel like if Forces was given proper treatment and like had people who understood Sonic working on it, the game probably would have been a lot better. And this is why I love Sonic fan projects like Sonic Project 06 and Sonic Forces Overclocked. Those 2 fan games are phenomenal. I love those. They are so well done, and they're given the proper treatment that those games should have gotten, like, all those years ago. So if you guys haven't played Project 06 or Sonic Forces Overclocked, I highly recommend you do, though they do 06 and Forces proper justice. And, but yeah, hopefully that answers all 3 of your questions there, Naveen Taylor. Thanks very much. From Snowfall of Night. Congrats, Rui. Here are my questions for you. Got another multiple one here, okay. 1. What is your favorite blooper from Sonic and the Autobots? Definitely, the one that was about, well, I call this one the Sonic and Amy weed skit. If you guys have seen the episode 5 blooper reel, you'll know what I'm talking about. But basically, it was just so funny hearing True Blue and Doom just do their thing. Like, it was just so hilarious. Like, and that one just, like, that moment, well, that particular blooper just lives rent-free in my head all the time. So, 2. Who is your favorite Autobot character? Definitely Optimus Prime. I love Optimus. He is my favorite fictional character in, like, well, all fiction. Like, you know, Optimus... The main reason why I love Optimus is because he's different to your standard superhero. He doesn't go up ahead and, like, stand up, I will fight for freedom and justice, you know? He's much more down to earth. He's like a father figure in a way. Like, he's like a mentor icon, and I think that's why so many people really love Optimus. It's just, he's kind of like to quote Peter Cullen directly, if you're gonna be a hero, be strong enough to be gentle. And I think that's just why Optimus has become such an iconic character, because he's very different to your standard superhero, and that's why I love Optimus so much. Okay, number 3. Will there be a story on how you and your sister found your dragons? I would love to make kind of an origin story of Knights in the Sky, sort of showcasing how Lachlan and Madeline met Turquoise and Sapphire. I do have an idea in my head, like I already know how I want to do it. The problem is, though, is that I've got so many things in the works that it's... trying to find the time to do it is like a nightmare. So, hopefully I can make it one day. I don't know when, when or where it's gonna like come out, but yeah, that is something I would love to do one day. So hopefully I can get the chance to make that story one day. From Brit Former Epic 26, congratulations and questions for Rui. What is your favorite thing to do off of YouTube? Ooh, okay. Okay, so outside of YouTube and animating as a whole, I am of course a gamer. I like to play games online with my friends, sort of just move around in there. I like to catch up with said friends, like out at like a restaurant or an arcade or something like that, whenever, or maybe at one's house, like whenever we get a spare moment. I also do a little bit of running. I like to try and stay fit because when you're animating, sitting at your desk all day, it's not the most physically active thing. So I think I like to run to kind of, keep myself active. And something else I like to do also off of YouTube is there are 3 particular sports I really like watching. Being Australian rules football, or AFL, Formula 1, and cricket. So basically whenever those particular seasons are on, I'll be like, I make sure to dedicate time to watch those particular sports whenever I get the chance as well. From Crystal Limitator. Congrats, dude. One question. If you were to exist in the Sonic the Hedgehog universe, what would your lifestyle be? If I were to exist in the Sonic universe, I'd say I'd like to be pretty much what my Sonic OC does. I'd like to be like a fighter pilot. I just think that's the most, that's just the best thing I can think of, really. Like, when I created Rui and like use him in my stuff, he's basically kind of just me, but as a fighter pilot, because like he's got my personality, my voice, and everything. He's literally he literally doubles as my Sona. So basically, yeah, if I were to exist in the Sonic the Hedgehog universe, I'd just probably, my lifestyle probably just be what his lifestyle is, just a fighter pilot who hangs out with his mates and all that stuff. From Rebel Auto Federation, in Transformers, which Optimus Prime version is your favorite and why? My favorite version of Optimus is definitely the G1 version of Optimus. I like all the different versions of Optimus, but the reason why I love G1 is kind of for the same reasons I said before. It's how he's strong enough to be gentle. He's different to your standard sort of like Hollywood hero kind of thing. Like he's much more of a mentor figure, much more of a father figure. And the thing is, when you look at all the other iterations of Optimus, sure, they're all different in their own way, but a lot of them all have remnants of G1 in there. Like, basically with every different version of Optimus Prime, there's always remnants of the G1 Optimus in all of those individual versions. So that's why G1 Optimus is my favorite. It's just, he's become such an icon, and I think I just don't think he can replace G1 Optimus. From Prime Wolfie, who says, congratulations. By the way, I want to ask a question. How long does it take for you to animate one of your Sonic and Transformers crossover videos? Now, how long it takes to make an episode depends on a lot of different things. Basically, it sort of depends on like how many characters are like maybe in a specific scene. It also probably depends on like what a certain scene involves. Like if it's just a casual scene with 2 characters having a conversation, that's pretty easy to make. But if it's like a full-blown fight scene with like, 5 characters on one scene, 5 characters on the other, that's a bit more hefty. Like, you got a lot of characters to animate. They're doing very dynamic movements and everything. So it really just depends on a lot of different things. But if I were to give you a rough estimation on how long it takes to make something, I'd say about 1 to 2 minutes of animated footage you see usually takes me about 1 week to make. So do the math there and that'll kind of give you the idea. But yeah, it's a long process, but I enjoy it. So I'm not going to stop making the show anytime soon. From Daniel Munn 182, will you do another Tornado Squad? Because I'm a huge Top Gun fan. Yes, I do plan on getting Tornado Squad off the ground again, pun not intended. But some of you guys may have seen earlier in the year I put up a remastered opening of Tornado Squad in like the Top Gun Mavericks, like in the same style as the Top Gun Maverick opening. I do really want to get Tornado Squad going again. I do actually have like a whole sort of like big script lined up, like with a whole kind of reboot of the series, because the original Tornado Squad was just kind of a retelling of the first 10 minutes and the last 10 minutes of Top Gun, just with Sonic characters. So I want to try and like sort of wipe that clean and like, do like a fresh start and make it a bit more original. I'll still draw inspiration from like the Top Gun movies and the Ace Combat games, but I want to make it a bit more original and a bit more unique. So I do plan to start Tornado Squad again. I don't know how long it's going to be till it does start again, because of course Sonic and the Autobots has been keeping me occupied for a while now. But yes, I do plan. I have not abandoned Tornado Squad, and I do plan to get Tornado Squad going again, hopefully soon. From Scuffy4930, here's my question: who/what inspired you to animate? So basically, it was really just kind of all the other sort of big animes you guys see in the Sonic community. So like Bellina Productions, Sasso Studios, Shadow759, Mike Darklighter, to name a few. I loved watching those guys when I was younger, and I just thought the stuff they made was so cool. I spent more time watching their stuff than I did watching like any other TV show. Like that was those sorts of animations was like my TV when I was younger. So eventually, as I got a bit older and sort of got towards like my final years of high school, like sort of I sort of just went ahead and thought, you know what, maybe I should give it a try myself. And I went ahead, I gave it a try. It took me a bit to get my head around it all, but I stayed determined. I kept practicing I kept working on my craft, and well, here I am now. I've got 50k subscribers, and now actually I've even had the pleasure to you know, sort of get to know those particular 4 as well, and like that's pretty crazy, you know, to sort of have these 4 content creators who you looked up to, and now to see myself working with them, that is like that is honestly quite surreal. So to Steve, Jim, Henry, and Mike, if you guys are watching, just thank you for inspiring me, guys, and yeah, thanks to you guys, I've come a long way. So thanks so much. Alright guys, I think I'm going to have to wrap it up here. I'm sorry if I didn't get to your question. There are a lot here, but I want to thank you guys for taking the time to ask me some questions. That really means a lot that you guys were kind of interested to learn a bit more about me. But regardless, I just wanted to thank you guys all so much again for 50k subscribers, halfway to a silver play button. I never thought I'd achieve a number like that. That means
Dude,
a lot.
they
So
get it. You reach 50k, you're halfway to a silver play button, you're very thankful. Woohoo! Can we please start the party now?
Alright. Yes, we can go have some fun. Go round up the others and we can get the party started.
Woo!
Alright guys, but yeah, once again, thank you all 50k, and I will see you guys all very soon.